This story is about Sarah, a young girl with an immense fear of the outside world. She has suffered from this fear since she was a young child, and it has kept her from living the life she's always wanted. Sarah's biggest fear is of animals, especially anything that is big and furry, from cats to bears. She was even afraid of her own family dog, a gentle Rottweiler named Max. Because of her fear, Sarah spends a lot of time shut away in her bedroom, comforted by the safety of her own four walls. She has a few good friends who she talks to online as well, but she mostly keeps to herself. Sarah's parents were sympathetic to her condition, but they were becoming increasingly worried that she was living in such isolation. One day, Sarah's parents decided to take her out on a hike in the woods, hoping the fresh air and freedom would help her. To her horror, she quickly found herself surrounded by the very objects of her fears: cats, squirrels, birds, and a large bear in the distance. Clinging desperately to her parents, Sarah was overwhelmed by the barrage of unfamiliar noises and smells. Her breathing became shallow, her heart racing in her chest. "Come now, Sarah," her father said reassuringly. "You will be all right. Max is with us, and he will protect you." He grabbed her hand and began to guide her forward, slowly but surely. Sarah did her best to control her fear as she stumbled along, visions of Max jumping up to chase after the animals racing through her mind. They eventually encountered a large raccoon, which approached Sarah and her parents with a curious interest. This was too much for Sarah, and she finally broke down, tears streaming down her face as she desperately dug her feet into the ground, refusing to move any closer. "Sarah," her father said softly, "you must face this fear. You must face this fear. You must be brave and show the animal that you are not afraid." He put his arm around her, and for a moment, Sarah felt a sense of safety, as if she was truly being protected by her father. Taking a deep breath, she finally willed herself to look up and make eye contact with the raccoon. It looked back at her, calmly and curiously, not taking any aggressive action. In that moment, something changed inside Sarah, and she suddenly felt a newfound sense of strength and courage. She was still scared, but she knew that she wasn't alone, and that her father was right. She could do this. With a newfound sense of bravery, Sarah stepped forward and slowly started to pat the raccoon, her fear slowly evaporating with each stroke. When the raccoon slowly began to meander away in search of more food, Sarah felt a sense of pride like never before, and suddenly, the world felt much more open to her. She realized that by facing her fear and embracing her vulnerability, she had taken back control of her life and was now stronger than ever before. As Sarah walked alongside her father, the fear of the outside world slowly fading away, she knew that she had at last conquered her biggest fear, and nothing would ever be the same again.
Do you have a suggestion for a new story? Comment below and subscribe to not miss the next one.